Hello, everybody, and welcome to Fantasy NBA Today, a sports ethos show brought to you by our great partners at FanDuel. I'm Aaron Bruski, joined as always by the great Dr. A. In this show, we're going to be hitting up our top ads, players in the drop zone, and the best streamers we can find. Let's get started. Doc, I missed you yesterday, buddy. My guitar gently wept, and I am the Tom Petty to your Prince. So how are you, sir, and who would you like to add?
I'm good. I cut all my hair off today.
Yeehaw.
Yeah.
Sleek and aerodynamic. I like it.
And James Harden, it sounds like, might be going to Cleveland, which will be interesting for our friend Ty Jerome and Denny Schroeder and all kinds of guys. But first ad I've got written down is Derek Queen. Brew, I feel like this is kind of not my territory because you are traditionally our Derek Queen backer / expert in the house. But Derek Queen started off February with a bang last night, 31 minutes, had 16 points, 8 boards, 3 assists, 3 steals, a block, and a 3-pointer. Very interesting. That Charlotte box score, like Herb Jones did stuff, and they played guys big minutes, and it almost looks like they're trying too little too late to salvage a season, which I don't really think they're going to do, or that they're really trying that hard to do. But Derek Queen had a great night.
Yeah, it's must roster territory for me with Derek Queen. And at the same time, if you had all of those bad lines stacking up there for a couple weeks and somebody in your league dropped them, I would absolutely be there to help them out and pick him up. It just makes logical sense that they want him to do good for the last third of the season. And anybody else who's got injury concerns, whatever they may be, probably doesn't want to gut it out for the possibly last place Pelicans. I haven't looked at the bottom of the standings in about a week. I don't know exactly where they sit. Herbert Jones is interesting too. I mean, we've had so much weird stuff with him, like injuries and then non-performance. And now he's back and we're right next to the trade deadline. And it seems like everybody's motivated to get Herbert Jones going. So the 12.7 boards, 1 steal, 1 block, 4 threes in 31 minutes was very Herbert Jones-like. And I think you should, if you have a need for steals or defensive stats in general, or just a classic kind of top 75, maybe top 100 Herbert Jones stat line, it's a great time to just throw your hat in the ring there and see what happens. Although we should remind everybody to save your moves. We've got a trade deadline in 2 days. So save your moves for whatever's happening next. I will take us to Philadelphia for what's next here. And Dominic Barlow had a night, 26 points, 16 boards, 2 steals, a block, a 3, 35 minutes. I mean, this guy has, I remember back in Atlanta, I was watching him shoot a basketball and I was like, I thought he was bigger back then. He's kind of a rail right now, but I was like, man, that guy can move. He can play, like he can shoot. Like, what's going on with this guy? Like, why isn't he in the NBA full time? He was on a 2-way deal back then. Now he seems like a live wire for this Philadelphia Sixers squad, and he'll disappear whenever they decide. Paul George was back, and that was kind of his first disappearing act. But they'll just disappear him, Dominic Barlow, every so often. And now Paul George out again, and I'm curious: is Dominic Barlow going to be better than we all think? There's inconsistency questions no matter what here, and we're up against the trade deadline, so I don't know if I can just in good faith recommend a Dominic Barlow ad for rest of season. It's a speculative thing. You might keep an eye on who's in and who's out for the Philadelphia 76ers and try to make some decisions fashioned around that if Joel Embiid's not playing in a game. But I almost don't think the two are connected. I think that Barlow might have just gotten an opportunity with Paul George out. So spec ad territory there. And I will also mention Quentin Grimes had 14 points, 2 boards, 4 assists, and 2 threes in 28 minutes. That's looking pretty grimy to me. I think it's worth a pickup. And
dude, I like the Barlow call, man. And I think, especially in leagues that are a little bit deeper, where some of the guys we talk about are not on your waiver wire, Barlow might be there. And Paul George is out for 25 games. Brew, I'm sorry I wasn't here to discuss that monumental event. The most
well, you're here now. You want to get your
the most unshocking news I've ever seen. And I know there's mental
I
health.
had a good one
issues.
pass by the timeline. It was a prescription P. Prescription P.
Oh,
Which we
prescription
shouldn't
P.
be capital P piling on of her
Yeah,
playoff
we kind of
P or
should.
play in P or whatever.
Play in P. Play out P.
There you go. Yeah, play out P. There's good. That's good.
Playa Puerto Vallarta P.
Oh, I wasn't thinking you had something good there, and then you had it. I was going like plyometric P, and then I said, you know, we should just shoot ourselves and move on. What else you got, Doc?
Jordan Miller. James Harden, as I said, is probably, it sounds to me like it's almost a done deal going to Cleveland for Darius Garland.
I kind of expect it to break while we're on air today.
Say what?
I kind of expect that news to break while we're on air.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. And Jordan Miller, his last 2 games, he had 20 points, 5 boards, 2 assists, and 3 triples on Sunday against Phoenix. He had 21 points, 4 boards, 2 assists, a steal on 9 of 10 shooting on Monday against Philly. Those are 2 good games, man. I've been on Jordan Miller for a while, and, you know, we get James Harden out of there. Jordan Miller could be even better. So I feel like Jordan Miller and Derek Barlow are both guys that should be being picked up in a lot of leagues right now.
Yeah, the arrow's certainly pointing up there. Let's get to a weird arrow that kind of just goes in circles and like all different directions. And it's the Indiana Pacers, Isaiah Jackson. 6 points, 6 boards, 4 assists, 4 steals, 2 blocks. This is the line that I was dreaming of like 3-4 years ago when I ranked Isaiah Jackson as like number 40 overall in the B150. And then Rick Carlisle's like, ha, 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 I'm not a fan. And that never happened. But now we have the entire Pacer squad sitting tonight. Jackson, the idea of him having 2 of these in a row to me seems so suspect. But you know what? Weird crap's going to happen down the stretch. And we're starting to see some different names, Doc, the Barlow, Miller, you know, Isaiah Jacksons of the world. Hell, Jarris Walker, 12 points, 4 boards, 1 steal, 2 threes. I like Walker the best of the silly season crew in Indiana, but like Jackson could really leapfrog that list quick. If something is clicked, if he's healthier than he was earlier in the season, if they just kind of let him do his thing and they maybe take the pressure off him of playing position defense and say, hey, just go out there and disrupt and do stuff. That would be what I would be watching for Isaiah Jackson to see if he's actually kind of jumped up a level or two, because I can't get behind like anything other than late round value for him if it all goes well at this point in time. With Walker, it's more of a question of like, do we see something that we just can't really predict because they're going to sit their top 5 guys the rest of the season, or sporadically enough to where Jarris Walker mixes the game you just saw here with like more like 18-point games and even more goodies, and field goal percentage is going to be the issue there for him. No matter what, if you don't have a field goal percentage issue, then you probably like Jarris Walker a whole lot more. I would say at that point, if you're playing, if you're not doing field goal percentage, you're going to probably need Jarris Walker on your lineup. I would think so. You would make the ad in that case. Doc,
what do you got next? It's funny. Yesterday, my buddy Jeff Snyder and I had a conversation about whether the Pacers were blatantly tanking or not. And Snyder was arguing that they are not blatantly tanking, and they almost won half their games in January. And my argument was that they are absolutely tanking. They got off to a like 6-20 start, and they're last in the East. And but he's like, but Pascal Siakam. And I was like, dude, I don't think Pascal's going to play down the stretch. And he's sitting out tonight, along with basically all the other starters, not named Jay Huff or whoever starts at center for that team. So very interesting. I think Pacers tank is on. I think every once in a while they let the players go out there and try to win a game. But the overall philosophy right now is we are tanking. The last guy that I have is GG Jackson. Speaking of silly season potential heroes, he scored in double figures in 5 of his last 6 games. He's rebounding, he's blocking shots, he's had a couple 5 assist games. He doesn't steal the ball, but everything else is kind of there. And the minutes are creeping up recently. And we've seen G.G. Jackson do this in the past. And Memphis is just a mess. And even if, they get James Harden, they're probably going to go for it. But just keep an eye on G.G. Jackson. I think he's an interesting target right now. He's kind of hot. And then Vince Williams Jr. had a good game in his last one, which I am.
It was 16 points, 5 assists, 2 steals, and 4 threes.
There it
for
is. Thanks,
Vinny
Drew.
Williams Jr.
He scored in double digits in 3 of his last 4. There are rebounds there. There are dimes. There are steals. There are threes. And there's minutes. He's got at least 20 minutes in 6 straight games. So Vince and Gigi are interesting, but there's a caveat here because Ty Jerome is really coming on, balling out. James Harden appears to be on his way to Cleveland, and who knows what that's going to look like when the dust settles.
There's been a lot of conflating of Cleveland and Memphis, sir. I think you had Keon Ellis on the brain and referenced Ty Jerome in Cleveland. Yeah.
Imagine that. Imagine that. I made a huge mistake.
There's a famous movie line quote in what you just said. I can't place it right now.
It's Arrested Development. Joe always says, I've made a huge mistake. And I had just made one.
Quick aside, that you sent me the clip of the Hot Ones episode with Will Arnett, and they have the whole segment on Golden Tee. And I was laughing out loud, sir. That was
so let's clean up what I just said.
Let's do it.
James Harden, the Memphis guys are good because Ty Jerome is no longer in Memphis. So Gigi and Vince, there's no James Harden coming to ruin them. He's going to Cleveland to mess with our boy,
drag him to the club.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. We have an errors and omissions section, just like Pardon the Interruption does going forward, perhaps. Let's get to, these are like the mathematical kind of just like plucky guards that happen to be white. Cam Spencer and Reed Shepherd. So Cam Spencer goes 16, 4, and 5 with 3 threes last night in what? 25 minutes. Okay, this has been the thing I've been droning on and 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 on about, which is Cam Spencer in 24 minutes per game has a top 125 floor. And that's what he's done this past week, is a top 125 production. And it includes this good game here, but 3 really bad games where it was just kind of lower numbers. But those lower numbers, because of the way that they come in, you know, they're mostly efficient, and you're getting a good, healthy dose of 5 assists into these 25 minutes per game over the last 4 games. You're getting the 2 triples, and you're getting the 10 points, and the defensive numbers aren't that good, but it all just lines up at top 125 value. So this is the value at his bottom right now. Reed Shepherd, 11 points, 2 boards, 5 assists, 2 steals, a block, and a 3. So he got you the classic 4 cash counting stats of 3 steals and blocks. Yes, in this game, Kevin Durant was out and he started, but it's not really that different of a deployment for Reed Shepherd from night to night. If he's hitting his shots, they leave him in a little bit longer. If he's not hitting his shots, he'll get you 3 cash counting stats, and the numbers will be a bit lower, and he'll be in a late round value position at his worst. And so both of these players, I think Cam's actually probably got a little bit more risk than Reed right now, but I don't think they're going to play Ty Jerome more than, like, he's playing 20 minutes a game right now. They didn't play him more than 20 minutes a game really in Cleveland, because they do every time he did that, he'd have knee issues. So he's got a calf issue. He's got that prior issue of the knee. And I mean, I don't know if they like, does 25 even come into their calculus? It's early for Ty Jerome. I'm curious because I got a ton of Ty Jerome everywhere as well. But Cam Spencer is, to me, safe, at least for the foreseeable future. And Reed Shepherd is safe. And they've been getting dropped pretty aggressively out there. All right, let's shift gears and talk about the guys who are struggling, the buy lows, the candidates to drop. Who is your first player in the drop zone, Doc?
I think Miles Bridges is a buy low. He had a weird January where he'd have good games, he'd have bad games. He kicked off February with a bad game. 3 of 11 shooting, 9 points, 4 rebounds, nothing else really. That's rough. And this is a team that's won what, Brew? 8 in a row, 7 in a row?
I was going to say 6, but you don't.
No, it's at least 7, I think.
I'll get that answer for us real quick here. Dude, I've been a Charlotte Hornets fan my entire life, and I've never been so proud of them. 7 straight wins for the Charlotte Hornets.
And so that means that they're really pushing for the playoffs. And Bridges has been up and down. He's been okay. They're still on the outside looking in. They're 14 and a half games out, 1 full game behind the Atlanta Hawks, who definitely want to make the playoffs. They're game and a half ahead or behind Chicago, and I'm not sure the Bulls are going to be there at the end. As you said last week, I think Charlotte could pass Chicago.
It was interesting. I just saw a random anomaly with their schedule. They're 14-9 in their own conference, and they've played 51 games. And so that means they've played 18 games against the West. So they're going to have, I guess, maybe that's not abnormal. Strike that from the record, Doc. I'll say this about Miles Bridges, though. I've got a ton of Bridges everywhere. Watching him just sort of fizzle out has been a bummer. But it's not that surprising. He's been in those trade rumors, and the most recent report, I believe, don't kill me if I get this wrong, I believe it was Sam Amick in the Athletic said that the market is cooling for Miles Bridges because Charlotte wants to see where this thing can go, and it's probably the 9 seed at this rate is where this goes.
It's been the Brandon Miller and Con Knippel show, and LaMelo.
I was so wrong on Con Knippel, and I'm just going to keep saying it until I feel better about myself.
Up about it every time we talk about
it. I can't not do it. Because he's just that dude that understands how to play the game, and it's impacting everybody else on the floor. It's like, you got one on the you got the LaMelo Ball on one side of the spectrum, and then you got Con Knippel doing everything right. Maybe he can teach LaMelo Ball how to play basketball, and they will just take over the East or something. That's
what I was going to say is I feel like Brandon Miller or Miles Bridges has kind of become the 4th option on that team. And that has hurt him. And I think the trade rumors have gotten to him. And switching gears, would you bet on Con Knippel to win Rookie of the Year? Do you think he's ahead of Cooper Flagg?
It feels like the right value bet. Like I don't know what the numbers are off the top of my head, but I'm going to guess you're going to get great odds on Knippel, and the odds for Cooper Flagg are going to be kind of like ho-hum, like plus 150 to plus 200 or something. And the problem with Cooper is if the Mavs want to tank and he gets an injury, this thing's like over. Con Knippel will win that. If they go down
or if the Mavs tank and just decide to shut him down.
Yeah, that's my fear with Cooper. And because otherwise I think they're going to let him go, just, hey, try to go score 40 every night. And he might then just kind of race back into this thing and just take it by name and by production. I
think both of these teams want their player to win Rookie of the Year because that's a huge acknowledgement to the franchise.
If Cooper Flagg doesn't for a ham sandwich,
if Cooper Flagg doesn't win Rookie of the Year, that's not going to look very good for Nico. So anyway, just interesting stuff. Don't drop Miles Bridges by any means, but he's kind of 4th option.
No,
there.
Especially because like one injury to say LaMelo Ball. If LaMelo Ball goes out, all of a sudden the usage is back. And so I would I'd even look at this as a buy low. I mean, this is really kind of abnormal stuff, right? Associated with the trade deadline. And you're going to get maybe like a round or 2 of value on it. So just consider your options there. Let's get to Moussa Diabate, who kind of just, it's like I wanted to get excited about that big game. And then I kind of in my heart of hearts knew that this thing was just going to kind of either creep into late round territory at best or just kind of fall off the map. Last game was a fall off the map, 2 points, 9 boards, 2 assists, no other stats for the Moussa Diabate. I'm basically, I'm willing to say that he's the leader in the position battle, but Ryan Kalkbrenner had the better statistical night. He didn't get the minutes, but he had the better statistical night. So I think these guys are going to go back and forth, and it's going to be hard to track. And for now, it's just kind of streaming territory for the two of them. Doc, who do you got next?
My guy Ivica Zubac, and I'm not rooting for Ivica Zubac to fail, but he's just weird right now. After
the whole team,
3 out of 4 games a couple weeks ago, he only played like 22 minutes. The numbers were down, and then he's been up to 30 minutes in his last 3 games. But one of those, the first one was 13-7 with no blocks. The second one was 14-20 with 1 block. No problem there. And then Monday night against Philly, it was 33 minutes for 8 points, 9 boards, and 1 block. So Zubac is just in a weird place right now. And I don't know if it's the fact that James Harden, it's just been a weird season in LA with Chris Paul stuff, and now Harden is getting out. And the Clippers, who looked great on paper, are hanging in there. I mean, they're the number 9 seed in the play-in tournament, but Portland is right behind them, and maybe Memphis is going to win some games. Maybe Dallas is going to try to get in. I don't know, but just got weird vibes about the Clippers and what happens when Harden goes. It should probably good news for Zubac. I don't know.
It's such a weird place. I have not gotten to my crack research staff and asked them to look into what did the Clippers do this lose a lot, win a lot thing last season? Was it the season before? I'm guessing yes. I can't stop talking about it. But here we go again. I mean, some guy had to eat a tweet. I don't know if he's a reporter. I didn't follow it close enough. Had to eat a tweet because they went 15-3. He had to eat a piece of paper. And all the good vibes. And I believe like John Collins, who's kind of attached here in the drop zone, he sounded kind of surprised about the whole James Harden thing. So while I get that there could be murmurs in the locker room and who knows what they know about all the different things surrounding the Clippers, and at the same time, if Collins was acting surprised, like maybe this is actually legitimately surprising to these players, and it didn't factor into some of this recent weirdness for Ivica Zubac. He's such a kind of you get what you see guy that I probably wouldn't move much on Ivica Zubac. Like after the trade deadline, he'll probably just be the same guy. John Collins, on the other hand, Doc, he had 15-7 with 2 threes, and he was shooting something like 68% for about a month. And I was like, how? And I guess I attributed it to playing with Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi theoretically still playing. Collins has drifted down toward the high 50s now for any kind of representative sample you want to look at for his field goal percentage, but it's dropped him into the early late rounds, this recent stuff. And so what are you doing with Collins, Doc? Are you going to hold on while he's still solidly in late round value and you have a -1, with James Harden on the way out?
Yeah. I mean, the weirdness with Zubac, the Harden stuff, really everything happening with the Clippers. I've said it all year, everything's going to fall apart. But at the end, the last man standing will be Johnny Collins. So I'm hanging on.
You did say that, and that's funny how that's kind of coming to fruition here. I had really high hopes for John Collins this season. Didn't have him too many places, but in some important ones. And I'm just like hating this whole thing because there's no way you could hang on at one point. It just wasn't going to happen until it did. And here we go again with John Collins. All right, let's look at VJ Edgecombe. 5 points, 3 boards, 7 assists, a steal, and a 3. 30 minutes. I'm inclined to hold here, Doc. It's been a rough kind of like 3-week span. He's been down toward the bottom of the top 150. And that's kind of troubling. But they just lost Paul George. That's like the -1 that we were looking for in Philly. And they probably need another -1 to really, truly make this thing sing for VJ Edgecombe. But he's a top 80 guy on the season. He's explosive as all heck. There's probably a rookie wall in here with all the minutes he's gotten, somewhere. The all-star prick will be great for him. And they come back kind of lean, mean, and focused. And VJ Edgecombe probably a top 100 player the rest of the way. I don't know if you see any other way, but let me know if you do, Doc. Who's your last guy in the drop zone?
I totally agree with you on Edgecombe. I think the All-Star break will do wonders for him. I totally feel like there's rookie wall stuff going on here. And with Paul George gone for basically the rest of the regular season, most of it. I would not be dropping Edgecombe. What did he do? Shoot 1 of 11?
Yeah. And he'll
be fine.
Kind of like that lately.
He'll be fine. Last guy I've got in the drop zone is Sadiq Bey, who got his February off to a horrible start last night with 2 of 12 shooting for 8 points, 3 boards, 5 assists, and 1 3. Let's not forget what he did on Saturday, the game before that. 12 and 19 shooting, 4 triples, 34.6 boards, 3 assists. He'd been a steal monster until that game. He didn't have any in that one, but he's stealing the ball. Like, do not drop Sadiq Bey, whatever you do.
Now, he had a first-round week last week or so. Like a first-round week, 6 or 7 in 8 and 9 cat leagues. 9 and 8 cat leagues, respectively. But it's weird. Like, he still kind of just hangs around the top 80 to 100, on the season in big minutes, 30 minutes. So, like, he has these flurries. He doesn't really ever disappear, though. The numbers kind of confuse me a little bit because I'm expecting there to be some massive fall off in the numbers, or they get dragged closer to the top 50. He's just good, Sadiq Bey. He's in a good spot, and he's in New Orleans is probably going to ride him for the rest of the season there. Let's talk Jay Huff here. 6 points, 3 boards, 1 assist, 2 blocks, some foul trouble, 2 threes. Actually, not that bad of a Jay Huff line. It's classic Huff. And look, guys, it doesn't matter if he's starting or coming off the bench. It is a classic Jay Huff line. It doesn't
classic Huff.
If Jay Huff got like a vote of confidence from Rick Carlisle, and Rick Carlisle said he's going to play him 30 minutes that game, I would not believe Rick Carlisle is going to play him 30 minutes in that game. Doesn't matter if he's starting, doesn't matter if he's coming off the bench. He's just the classic wild card. And I don't think you want to, I think you got to play the averages with Jay Huff. If you're going to play Jay Huff, you got to do this one of 2 ways. You can live with the ups and downs, or possibly, as we dive into the streamers for tonight, you probably want to stream him. And before we get into that, let's remind you guys that our annual NBA trade deadline special, where we'll be reacting live to all the action and breaking it down as it happens. It's on Thursday. Every year, we bring in all of our talented staff, and we talk about all the different things. Doc will be here. I'll be here. And we'll be just going as hopefully it's a big one. And we'll make sure that you guys are all nice and set up to take advantage of all that first come, first serve stuff. So you get all the live ads as fast as possible. So you'll find the link to the live stream in the description of this episode. Make sure you guys set a reminder. We'll be going live at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. Join us. One of the biggest and best episodes of the year. All right, Doc, who's your top streamer?
Drew, my wife asked me, she goes, are you going to be working on the trade deadline? Isn't that Thursday? And how she knew that, I don't know, honestly. I probably mentioned it in my sleep. And she caught it.
It's a 2-man show.
I said, I'll be working that day a lot, but I don't know how much. I just know that I'm available on Thursday.
It's the trade deadline, and it's also like September, where the family's like, bye. We'll see you later.
Streaming, Jaren Walker of the Pacers. As far as I know, these are the guys not playing for Indiana tonight. Mathurin,
this is all confirmed, by the way.
Mathurin, McConnell, Nembhard, Nesmith, and a guy named Pascal Siakam. As if hearing Mathurin and Nembhard and Nesmith wasn't enough for you to get excited about Jaren Walker, you throw in Siakam's name, and that's like, how can Jaren Walker fail? Well, he could fail by shooting 2 of 37 on the night. But, Brew, I'm going to read you his shooting lines for like the last 8 games.
I don't know if this is going to make me hot or bothered. Which one is it going to be?
5 of 9 last night. 5 of 12 on Saturday, 6 of 8 on Wednesday, 4 of 8 before that, 8 of 15 before that, 7 of 14 before that, 4 of 6 before that. Dude, I did notice this. Sub 50% one game of his last like 8.
Look, he's basically a shooting guard. And I feel like shooting guards with their slumps and their surges are like half season long things sometimes. And so it makes sense. When I was hearing those stat lines, was I hot or bothered? I'm bothered, Doc. I'm bothered. I think this is the big one. I think this one's a 10 of 28 or something. I hope to see it. I want to see Rick Carlisle lean into this so we can get like peak Jarris Walker. I want him going 20, 10, and 10 and like 3 of 19 from the field or something.
Well, they're playing the
That math
Jazz
doesn't
tonight,
pan
and
out.
the Jazz are actively tanking. The Pacers look like they're actively tanking tonight.
And these games get ugly. We just saw it with the Kings and the Wizards. It feels like it's going to go perfectly, right? Like all of our guys, the Kyle Filipowskis, the Jarris Walkers, and I'll say my next streamer is Jay Huff. It feels like they're going to go off, but like you get like the 9th and the 10th and the 11th and the 12th man on the floor, and weird crap happens, and sometimes it doesn't go off.
Well,
But
this could also just be a Markin and Jarris Walker shootout too. Like I'm kind of excited to see what happens here.
Yeah, and to be clear though, this is a very, very good streaming spot for Jarris Walker. And for Jay Huff, my next streamer, like you gotta play like kind of like gambler's theory tells you not to play, which is that like all these results are supposed to be not connected. But really, like when Jay Huff only plays 11 minutes a game or whatever the number is, if it's 2 or 3 or 11, I want him in that next game. And after he's got the big game, I don't want him in the game after that. It's classic Jay Huff theory. But this game, it's somewhere in between because he did kind of good last night and had the low minutes and the foul trouble. But with everybody gone, I'm going to say Jay Huff might even be a better streamer than Jarris Walker. I'm excited about them both. Doc, who do you got next?
I'm going to throw Davion Mitchell out there on Sunday. He had 13 points, 6 assists, 2 steals, and 3 triples. We have no Tyler Hero for the Heat tonight. We have no Norm Powell. So I think Davion Mitchell's in a pretty good spot. I think Jaime Jaquez is in a decent spot. Khalil Ware's been coming back a little bit. Classic Ware, and classic Huff, man. Like this is the year of those two. But I'm kind of feeling Davion Mitchell is a good streamer tonight.
Yeah, get your buy lows in on Khalil Ware. And if we have to name this segment after a player, it might be after Davion Mitchell with the season that he's having. Let's get to another classic streamer. It's D'Anthony Melton. Look, when he plays, he's going to produce. And if he's as currently constructed, it feels like he's damn near a leader of this Golden State Warriors squad, especially with Steph out. Like they actually just look to him and say, D'Anthony, take us to the promised land. We need you to get us there. And so I was really shocked to see that in his last game, just how much kind of the polish in his game has shown up late in his career here after suffering these big injuries. And so also, I'll throw this out there. He looks as quick as he's ever looked. So I know he's got games he's going to get games off. Back-to-backs are probably not in his future, at least until theoretically after the All-Star break. And I kind of think it might just be baked in the cake from here on out. He will be good, though, when he's on the floor. And no Steph, I think that he's going to have a big, big kind of top 75-ish stat line tonight. D'Anthony Melton feels like you're just kind of printing money. Doc, who do you got next?
I have got Sam Hauser of the Boston Celtics. Sam Hauser is in a shooting slump. Sam Hauser has hit 4 of his last 18 shots over 2 games. From downtown, he's 3 of 15 in those 2 games. Shooter's going to shoot. Slumps don't last forever. I think he's going to break out of his slump tonight and have a big game, like 4 or 5 threes. Might score like 18 points. The only thing I don't like is Boston looks like they're fully healthy and ready to go. But, I mean, the minutes have been there for Hauser. The shots have been there. He just hadn't been making them. I think he's going to make shots tonight.
Yeah, I kind of saw this dip coming, and now I'm excited again because he's going to start making shots again. So I like the call there. Let's get Justin Champagnie on the board after he had a DNP CD in that classic contest between the Kings and the Wizards where they attempted to outduel each other to be the worst team in the league. And it was weird. There was no mention of it. He's been popping up in some trade rumors. Philadelphia has been kind of talking about him in their papers. And it's classic Champagnie territory here. A DNP is very risky. Like maybe there is something going on behind the scenes with an injury that's just not being reported. Maybe he is being held out for trade. So just kind of watch things. If you could get some intel before you deploy. The other thing here is there's rest of season value. So that's why I like it a lot. The bad games of the last 3 weeks certainly dragged him back. I don't want to just kind of gloss over that. But overall, this is a guy whose stat profile gets him to the top 75 real quick. And for that reason, I will put up with the hassles. Justin Champagny. And then, Doc, I see you a couple more here on your list. Who do you got?
Well, I mean, your guy at Bona has not really popped this year, correct?
Bona has not popped. That's correct.
Whoa. Did that trade go down?
That's a great question.
Jaren Jackson traded to Utah.
No.
With John Concar, Jock Landale, Vince Williams, Kyle Anderson. Oh my Lord!
All right, I'll read this.
You read that. I'm going to talk about. Forget everything I said about Vince Williams earlier. He just got traded to Utah.
Okay,
Andre was hiding it from us, Brew.
Oh, he's hiding it from us, huh? He didn't want us to know. Oh, the Illuminati.
Well, we can do it in the next show, but
let's do it. I'll just speak it into the ether here. Jaren Jackson Jr., John Conchar, Jock Landale, Vince Williams Jr., a partridge in a pear tree to the Utah Jazz for Walter Clayton, Kyle Anderson, Taylor Hendricks, Georges Niang, the minivan, and 3 future first-round picks.
Damn.
3 future first-round picks from the Utah Jazz? Is that right? This is a joke. That's not real. Okay. Woo! All right. That last part of the tweet got me there. Okay, in the streaming section for this episode, Kyle Filipowski, who apparently is the last man standing in Utah, and Musa Cisse. I'm going to go on and on about Musa Cisse later. He's pretty damn athletic. And that's going to do it for this episode.
Oh, Brew. I have one more. So I think Joel Embiid is doubtful tonight. I'll let you gather yourself. I think Joel Embiid is doubtful tonight. So I'm expecting we're finally going to get the Adem Bona pop game. It's coming tonight. You heard it here first. It's my Locktober in February. And then lastly, with all those guys out in Indy, we told you about Jarris Walker, but Johnny Furphy and Ben Shepherd, deep leagues, those guys are going to play. I don't know who's going to run point for this team. It has to be Ben Shepherd, I think. So those are 2 guys that I would look at tonight as well. 3 first round. What? Wait, what?
Yeah, let's break this deal down real quick. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. The last part really got me. I'm sorry. You're paying Jaren Jackson a ton of money, and he's already like on the downslide, like with a ton of injury risk. And then hopefully some details of this trade kind of like make it make sense, and it's a little bit easier to swallow, I guess. If you're a Utah Jazz fan, like Jaren Jackson Jr. making $35 million, $49 million, $50 million, $52 million, has a player freaking option for $53 million. That is outstanding. And then so all right, let's start at the top. Jaren Jackson is probably good news for him, right? Like he's going to be just the centerpiece in Utah.
Nothing changes. It's just
the same stuff. I mean, for him, it's like the players, when they get worse around him, his fantasy value actually gets worse. So you kind of want some good players. Then in addition, all right, so Jock Landale will go across and they'll probably just do the same thing they were doing in Memphis. And Vince Williams, John Conchar, these guys could theoretically factor into some silly season stuff, but like they're already in a decent little silly season place in Memphis already. So that not a lot of moving pieces there. I mean, is Jaren Jackson going to have to take a back seat to Yusuf Nurkic? My call him. I got to think that Yusuf Nurkic is kind of like on his way out somehow. I haven't seen a ton of Yusuf Nurkic talk out there, so I'm going to disclaim that. If he's still around, Jaren Jackson, his value shifts around in a bunch of different odd ways. Like he'll probably be around the hoop less. He'll probably take better shots. That'll be good for him. maybe he can make up some of that with some like weak side block stuff, but like the fit is so weird. I got to think that Yusuf Nurkic is out. And then let's get to the Memphis side. Like you're going to take out Jaren Jackson Jr., who really isn't that much of a box score presence right now.
GG Jackson, baby.
I guess. And Gigi, like I used to really dog him because the defense was like every time down the floor, somebody just barely with no effort at all would just get him off on roller skates. And then it was just kind of like, you can't keep this guy on the floor. And he's slimmed up this year. He's a little bit slimmer. I think that you're seeing more athletic stuff out of him. So he's not as bad. And then stat wise, there's issues kind of with the percentages, and you just don't know what's going to be there other than the scoring and the rebounding for him. I don't know if it's a run. I don't think it's a run, don't walk moment. It's a speculative ad moment, and we haven't really seen him get up and over the top 100 very much. So the other names in this are really low-level names. Taylor Hendricks arriving in Memphis. A change of scenery could do him good, but I don't think we're projecting any real fantasy value there. Yang, nothing there. Kyle Anderson, nothing there. And then you get this piece of like, let me see the actual the Walter Clayton piece. Really, like, is that real? Is that you're going to give up a promising young guard in this as well? That's crazy. So Walter Clayton
probably because Ja Morant's gone.
Yeah, and you know, you've got now kind of this question about like Cam Spencer. So Cam Spencer has played for this team all season. It's kind of the same thing. If Ja was playing, I probably wouldn't have taken Cam Spencer off of his 24 minutes per game no matter what. Walter Clayton comes in, he probably gets 20 minutes a game, you know, which is less than what Ja would have gotten if Ja had stuck around. And Walter Clayton, though, I think he's fantasy viable at this point. Like he's in 20 minutes, if they decide to give him the ball, and if this, you get this like kind of guard heavy, movement heavy, tanky kind of a situation in Memphis where they play a lot of up tempo games. Everybody's passing the ball up the floor a la Indiana. And you could have multiple guys with fantasy value. You got Ty Jerome with fantasy value, Cam Spencer with fantasy value, you got Walter Clayton with. It'll all be in like the top 100 range for everybody not named Ty Jerome, where he sits in the top 75 slot. It's like low and slow, but actually pretty damn good. You know, it's not late round good. And it might be late round, you know, for Clayton. It might be
I think Clayton is a guy. Like for me, I don't know that I'm gonna run out and grab him in all my leagues, but I want to pay very close attention to what happens when he gets there. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
And if he shows any signs of life at all, then I'm grabbing him.
Wow. All right, trade deadline. You've got my attention.
Dude, like thinking back to the Luka trade and what Dallas did not get back for Luka. Are you telling me Utah just got
it's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. This whole thing, like Danny Ainge, what are you doing?
Memphis got 3 first-round picks for Jaren Jackson.
Yeah, I need to know what the first-round picks are. If anybody has like what these first-round picks actually are, that would be very important.
I don't know that matters, dude. It's like the fact that they turned Jaren Jackson Jr. into 3 first-round picks.
Here's another angle to consider: that Utah does not want Jaren Jackson on the floor right now. Like if they're going to tank, I mean. And I don't know how much winning Jaren Jackson is driving right now. Like, this is like absolutely a fair question. Like, but like, is fantasy value in Utah really? It might just go all the way into the tank. Jaren Jackson. So, like, if you got Jaren Jackson right now, I don't think this is going to work at all. But like, floating an offer for a top 75 guy, you know, based on his name value, and if. Man, you could almost justify a top 100. I probably don't do that because you could just sit around and see what happens next. And top 100 is somewhat replaceable, pretty replaceable on a waiver wire. So I would use the classic top 75 move here. But you try to quickly get this deal out to, you know, somebody who's not quite there, you know, goes, all right, yeah, I'll take that. And you get out of this Utah Jaren Jackson business. I don't see how.
I kind of think they want to see that what they've got. I think they're going to run him out there. I think the fans would be upset if they didn't. But then again, I don't know, man. There's too far out of it to get. They're 8 games out of the play-in right now. So they're, even if they try their hardest, I don't think they can turn that around. But
let's talk Kyle Filipowski here.
Weird trade.
Is the dream dead for Kyle Filipowski? I kind of think it's not. Like within this chaos, I see Kyle Filipowski carrying a top 75 flag down whatever the main street of Utah is, probably surrounded by several tanks.
Maybe this year, but next year it's going to be Walker Kessler and Markkanen and Jaren. I mean, at that point, I think the Filipowski.
Well, I think also this means Walker Kessler's got to be gone. Like, I don't think you could pair him with Jaren Jackson Jr.
I think that's what they want to do.
If that's what they want to do, they're crazy. They're absolutely crazy. Like, that is not going to work in the slightest. But I mean, they just did what they did, so I mean, anything's possible. So this season, if you're, how does this affect your stash rank for Kyle Filipowski?
Say that again.
How does this affect your stash rank, so to speak, for Kyle Filipowski?
I don't think it really changes it too much. I don't trust Markkanen to play. If you're right, and Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to chill until next year, then that's good news for Filipowski.
Yeah. I think it makes it a lot more messy until we see the next shoe drop. Like, if Lauri Markkanen gets traded, that's kind of all you needed to see in order to kind of just hold this rank for Kyle Filipowski, because it's all sorts of messy anyway you slice it. We don't know if Kyle Filipowski is going to actually pan out.
Here's what Shams said. The Jazz make a major swing for Jackson and team him with Lauri Markkanen, Keontae George, Walker Kessler, and more. The move signals a full rebuild for the Grizzlies around its promising young core, and now has as many future first-round picks as any team in the NBA.
That's the most pregnant pause I've ever had. I need to see that tweet with my own eyes just so I can take it all in. That is because, like, this could be posturing. Like, does this signal that Lauri Markkanen? Because again, like, when Shams or somebody else reports this stuff, it's baked into the reporting puzzle that it's going to be marketed a certain way to the public. And so the Jazz make a major swing for Jackson, signals they like him. Obviously, they like him. Team him with Lauri Markkanen. That part's the part doing the heavy lifting. It's literally Markkanen, Kessler, and more. And now that I'm reading it, I can actually understand the part about the Grizzlies. So is this posturing on the Lauri Markkanen and Walker Kessler side? Or does Utah really think this is who they're going in a battle with? Like, they're going to take these. And Keontae George has had an amazing season. He certainly pairs well with these sort of lumbering players. He's the only one that can get something off the dribble. Isaiah Collier has been more explosive this season, so that helps. But do they really actually believe that this could work? That Lauri Markkanen, Walker Kessler, and JJJ can be on the floor as a trio and not get carved up relentlessly? I can't believe that they believe that. I kind of believe this is posturing, that Lauri Markkanen and Walker Kessler are not future foundational picks or players for the Utah Jazz. And so for that reason, I will say Kyle Filipowski's value, it's mostly the same. And then let's see here if there's anything else we need to touch on before we get to the next show here.
I think that's it. I think we're done.
It's Santi Aldama, really. Like, is he going to magically get back on the right side of the ledger health wise as this trade deadline's in full swing? And is he just gonna go off? the rest of the way, because you get JJJ out of there, and he's that sort of pivot big that in this system can make the multi-guard lineups that they're going to need to run. He can make them kind of sing. And so hang on to Santi Aldama. It's been a rough couple weeks here with all the absences and the quietness and the injury kind of fear that he's also an injury risk. He's got a tradable contract, and that makes him as fluid as it gets. So, wow. Great stuff, Doc. All right.
Thank you, Danny Ainge, for making us laugh as hard as we
I needed a good cry this morning. This has been absolutely fascinating and phenomenal, and that's going to do it for this episode of Fantasy NBA Today. If you're listening on the pod feed, take 60 seconds and leave a 5-star review. That would be great. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the Sports Ethos channel so you guys never miss an episode. From Doc, Andre, and everybody here at Sports Ethos, we will be right back with more trade deadline madness, our daily fantasy deep dive available exclusively on the Fantasy NBA Today pod feed and the Sports Ethos YouTube channel. This has been Fantasy NBA Today, presented by FanDuel and Danny Ainge.